Welcome to another episode of Titans of Industry. I'm sitting here with Juan Flores of the J Flow Media Company. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Juan, and who Juan is and why media?
Yeah, so my name is Juan Flores from the RGV, 15 years old. Started making money online since the age of 13. And I chose media because I fell in love with cameras. It's something about cameras that fulfills me. So I help realtors 10x their engagement on social media organically within 90 days or less.
Nice. And do you feel that your age has held you back or any complications with that? Do people kind of attack you this way or another way because of your age? Now, I'm a big believer of age is nothing but a number. So how does that feel for you?
Not at all. People, even realtors, when I go to their open houses to talk to them or even meet them, they think I'm older. They think I'm 18, 19. So no, it's never held me back. They're even surprised that I'm doing all this at 15. Everyone that I've talked to, all my mentors and stuff, they're still surprised that I'm 15, knowing all of this.
I have to admit, I thought they were trying to say, oh, he's a 15-year-old kid. I thought they were joking, and the reason was because when I was scrolling through Instagram and your video popped up, you were saying some real things that are relevant to today's market, and it's kind of it's almost like you were listening to one of a meeting we had just had not too long before that, and I was like, man, this guy kind of gets it. I thought you were a realtor, honestly.
No. I handle the media side of things for realtors. Some of the things I do say come off as aggressive, but it's fine. But yeah, I try to give free value to realtors on social media, try to help them out when it comes to creating content on social media, like what to do, how to create the hooks and stuff like that, what not to do, which you guys know which video I'm talking about, but yeah.
Sure. And, obviously have a little pride, from where you're from and things like that. I feel like a lot of the aggressive nature just come from Hispanic roots and kind of who we are as people. How did you get into this business? What got you into this business?
Yeah, so let me give you some background story. So when I was 13, I first started making money with video editing. So I would edit videos for some people in real estate over there in California. And after I kind of went to cameras, started going to car meets and stuff, but I really started going into real estate because I really wasn't making much money shooting cars, because people that own the cars, they don't make money from that, right? They have their own jobs and they just like their cars, right? So I couldn't really make money with that. So I was like, okay, who can I actually make money from? What niche can I make money from? And I started looking back with the people I started working with, and it was with real estate. So I started looking for some realtors here in the Valley and who I can help out. And I realized these realtors have no clue what they're doing on social media. So I was like, okay, with the knowledge I know that I've gotten hundreds of thousands of views for my past clients, I knew I could help them out. And that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
For sure. So running a media company is super difficult. I mean, we know from experience, personal experience. For me personally, we started shooting videos in 2014, 2016, and this was probably when you were like 2 years old. I mean, no. but it was a difficult time. A lot of the technology that we have today wasn't available then. Wireless mics were things of Hollywood. Cameras were super expensive, and to get the specific angles and shots that you needed a bunch of different equipment. The market has allowed it for anybody with an iPhone with the gimbal to be able to shoot some content. And we all know that just because you can shoot content doesn't mean you should shoot content, right? And that's something that we talk about all the time here. And I think more importantly, just on the media side, because that's what you focus on, not real estate, not marketing, not sales, not anything, on the media side specifically, what struggles have you encountered, in your first 2 years of business or your first years of doing business?
Really knowing what to do exactly, especially with outreaching. When I started editing back then when I was 13, 14, I didn't know how to outreach. I just kind of DM'd whoever, and whoever responded to me, I would work with, and I try to sell them right then and there. But most salespeople, they know not to sell in the DMs and to actually get them on a call or something else, right? And at the time I didn't know. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just doing, right? Now I kind of know what to do when it comes to outreaching. I have a big old spreadsheet and all that stuff, right? But outreaching is really the most, which is the thing I really struggled on, because really how you make money or how you find leads.
Now Vic really didn't want to get into the whole incident, right? That we had. But let me ask you a question. That incident that happened, it was kind of, you know, the person that came at you, you really weren't going after her. I think you mentioned to me that you didn't know who she was at all. You were just talking about the video that you ran into or that you found online, right? So you didn't know who it was. I had no idea who this, you know, realtor was or why she came at me, but obviously she knew who my realtor was. If we had to do that again, or if you could rewind and not do that, would you not do it, or would you do it again?
Oh, I totally do it. That's the reason I'm here right now. You know, yeah. So I got a bunch of hate comments from that video. 60 comments, a third of them were all hate. I believe in all attention is good attention. There's no such thing as bad attention, and that's kind of the reason why I'm here. Nate commented on my video. He personally DM'd me as well, and he was like, "Let's come on my podcast. Let's talk about these chicks."
well, not really those chicks, right? Like I'm just those chicks represent exactly what the problem in RGV real estate is. That's what they represent. I mean, it's the epitome of it. And then, you know, and I think, you know, I was explaining to you earlier, right? Because you were like, what did you mean by high school? You know, high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, it's like the popular girl in high school, or the popular people in high school, the in people, right? And so if you notice, people came to her defense, you know, and were like, oh my God, you know, you should check this, you should check that, you know. And in a sense, they kind of turned into what she was, you know, getting upset about, right? They started bashing you, and you're, you know, you're a media guy. You're not even a realtor. You're trying to get into media, and the thing is that, you know, you were expressing your frustration, and you were expressing, you know, what you see from the outside looking in, of how not to market yourself in real estate.
It was extremely unprofessional what they did, right? And I did the video to kind of raise awareness to other realtors what not to do, and kind of give them pointers to exactly what to do and how to do it. That was my whole intent with this video that I created, and the video's responding to the hate comments. Yeah, it still is. So they took it the wrong way, which I don't really care. But yeah.
So we're big on algorithms. We're big on tracking. We're big on looking at different social media profiles online that we can either mirror or build our business similar to. Obviously, there's no two individuals that are alike, right? It's like fingerprints. We all have the same thumb, but we don't have the same fingerprint, right? And when I think about media and I think about content in that aspect, we like to sit back and think, where can I draw inspiration from? Where can I build from? So when I think about those things, I talk about specific social media strategies. Are you familiar with like 50 Cent's method of kind of how he does his business, or even Gary Vaynerchuk's method? Have you kind of focused in on that and honed in on an approach that you're going to try, or are you building something from scratch and this is Juan, this is JFlow Media, and this is what I'm doing? I guess, where are you going from there?
Yeah, I'm starting building it from scratch. You know, I'm not really aware of what Gary V or 50 Cent did, or the way they're doing their stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of using what my mentors are telling me what to do, and kind of applying that, not only with my personal brand, but with other realtors I'm helping out, and it's working. And
I think that's important to talk about. You know, you're not by yourself. You're not alone. Yeah. You have some mentors. You have some experience. You have some people behind you. And like we said at the start of this, you know, age is just a number, right? We can build connections with everybody. I've been fortunate enough to build some connections very early on. You as well, fortunate enough to build some connections early on. How has that helped you, or how do you interact with those mentors? What do you take and what do you leave? Because for me, I was very big on, I know that worked for you. It might not work in my business. I'm very big on, I'll listen and then figure out how I can apply it into my business. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's no shot. There's no, you know, putting anybody down. It's just not working for what I do. So how do you navigate that with mentorship and advice and unwanted advice?
Yeah, I mean, I actually had not an incident, but a case where one of my coaches, he's 17. He's the sales guy for a community, right? And he's made over 100K in a year at 17, right? All through sales. And he's my sales coach. And one of my other business coach was like, don't be doing what he's doing. I get it. This is what you're being told, but don't do it. It won't work in your business. So I stopped doing which was cold calling. Stop cold calling these realtors. Most of them they won't pick up. People are now transitioning to, people are very busy, so just stick to emails and cold emails. So just stick to that, and it's been working. I've gotten more responses on cold calls, but really haven't been able to convert. If that makes sense, yeah.
Sure.
But to be honest, I'm kind of just taking in what they're saying and applying it and see what works and what doesn't, because I'm barely starting, so I don't know what will work or what would not. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity, I think. And that same breath, I'll let Nate kind of jump in and give us a little story about your experience in cold calling, how that helped you, and where that got you from the beginning of your career. Because I'm a big believer in cold calling. Yeah. I'll cold call. Give me a number now. I'll call them live if you want. You know, I'll get an answer. So
I don't think that you know. I don't know your industry, right, or what type of industry it is, but I always feel that cold calling is always the best way to communicate.
Okay.
A phone call is always way better than anything that you can do, even posting videos, because you're actually talking to a person, and now even more than ever is cold calling the best way to go. And the reason is, I think I did a meme today, right, that somebody sent me, and it was like, you want to dominate these Gen Zers, you call them on the phone, you know, because they'll post all types of videos and send all kinds of messages on, you know, comments, and say all kinds of stuff, but you get them on the phone, and it's really hard for them to carry a conversation or defend themselves, because you see what social media, emails, and text messages and commenting and all that has done is it lets you get a hold of your emotions, think about it, and then post and do whatever you want to say, right? It's kind of like you know, whenever you're arguing with somebody and they get the best of you, and then you go home and you're like, man, I should have said this, man, I should have said that. That's what all these things allow you to do. Cold calling doesn't give you that. You have to be quick, on your feet, and sharp. And so, in my opinion, I think you should not rule cold calling out at all. I think that should be the basis of anything. I don't care what industry you're in. You know, Vick did cold calling for political surveys. You know, I did cold calling. I used to sell funeral plots. You know, I used to sell cars. I used to sell homes. You know, I've always cold called, and I used to sell mortgages. I used to do refis, cold calling for refis. I would cold call, and you know, I would start cold calling in New York and work on my way down to California, you know, when I was younger, and that's always kept me fast and sharp and on top of things. So yeah, I you know, that's my opinion, right? You know, I guess your mentor, your coach, or whoever you're with is telling you something different. But
we like to say our unsolicited advice is this: you hit the phones. If you need to make money, you hit the phones, and that's the best way to build a relationship. The other best way to build a relationship is in person. When people get to know you and they see you, the tonality changes. Once they feel your demeanor and they feel your presence, they're able to understand who you are as a person and what you're trying to do. I mean, we met with you, we spent some time with you, and I can tell you that you have a bright future and you have a lot of things going for you. And, you know, even if you make some mistakes along the way, it's not a big deal. Think about these adults that have been living their lives for a long time. How many mistakes they made along the way before they are this polished personality they put online. Unfortunately, or fortunately, how you look at it, you're in an age where everything is documented, everything is online. So they're watching you make these mistakes in real life. And I would say my unsolicited advice is don't let that get you down. You keep pushing, you keep growing, and you become who you're going to be. Just no one's going to stop you. The opportunities are there and you got to take them. Right? So with that, I'll lead with my last question. And it's, what does the future hold for you? What does it look like in 2027?
Dominating the RGV when it comes to helping realtors out with social media. You know, that's really my end goal for now, for 2027, like you said. That's actually the year I graduate high school. So it's in 2 years from now. So I'm ready for that, yeah. And it's gonna be hard, but I know it will happen, because all these other media companies, they don't offer the same thing I'm offering. I help realtors 10x their engagement on social media. They just offer photos and videos. Even from that statement, what does that imply? It implies that I will make that realtor more money. All these freaking videographers, photographers, they will work with anyone. I can't work with I can't just work with anyone, you know. I want to work with the realtors who understand social media and want to actually make money from social media, even if they haven't, you know, or if they already have, take it to the next level. That's my end goal when it comes with choosing what realtors to work with. Yeah.
And that's super interesting, and I think that's one of the reasons why you know, I invited him, and I told you, hey man, we need to interview this kid, because you know he gets it, you know, like it's really tough. You know, I've been in this business 20 years, and I have such a hard time training realtors in RGV because they don't get it. They're happy with being popular. They're happy with being small town famous. They don't want to make the money, you know? And this is the thing, you know, that, you know, there's also people that are not in real estate in RGV that want to be associated with the popular person and the famous person, and they will use that person as a realtor for some transactions. But as soon as they don't get what they need, they will soon start looking for a real estate expert, not a real estate escort.
Best way you could say it, yeah, I mean, most realtors have no clue what they're doing on social media. And it's sad to say it, you know, as much as I love and hate the RGV, I really want the RGV to be known. You know, Elon Musk is moving his headquarters to Starbase, his SpaceX headquarters to Starbase. So that means a lot of freaking tech nerds from California are going to be coming to the Valley. What does that mean? The price over there for an average home is about $1 million. The price here in Brownsville is about $200-300 a home. No, yeah, a home, right? So these realtors are going to make a lot of money from Elon Musk moving this headquarters over here. So how are these realtors going to get these tech nerds to hire them? It's by becoming a well-known expert in the area. When you look up RGV real estate, you want your name to pop up on there. You want to be one of the first. Same with, is it cool if I can shout another realtor out?
Go ahead, whatever.
Same with Nash Buksani. You know, you look him up. If you go to images, it's freaking, when you think of RGV, when you think of luxury real estate in RGV, you think of Nash Buksani. That guy sells $1 million listings like every freaking month or so, like crazy. That's a well-known realtor in the Valley, if I'd say so. And I'm trying to make these other realtors well-known as well. They're already experts, they're just not well-known.
For sure. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a bonus question. You brought up ambition, grit, determination. Those are characteristics that you have that embody who you are as a person and what it takes to persevere the hate, the comments in your business, right? So this is advice for your future self and advice for other people looking to do what you're doing. Today, in a few sentences, what advice would you give somebody else that's looking to break into this industry, or advice for your future self? What would that be?
For someone who's wanting to break into an industry like mine or really start their own business, is really to just start. You know, when I was 13, I had no clue what I was doing. I just did. I just was like, okay, maybe this will help, and I would just do. And I didn't have a plan, but that's kind of where I learned the most, if that makes sense. I failed a lot. I actually started a lot of other businesses besides media and stuff, and they failed. Why? Because I didn't continue growing it. I was stagnant, and I wasn't really pushing them out. But that's what you learn along the way. Just start is really what you need to do.
For sure. There you go. Well, there goes another episode of Titans of Industry. My boy Juan here has a bright future in front of him. Really young, really ambitious, really excited to see what the future holds for him. Now, I know he mentioned Nash is the luxury real estate agent in McAllen, but that's because Victor hasn't made his way down there. But I'll see you soon, Nash.